President and CEO of Floss Barber Incorporated. We're a full-service interior design firm headquartered here in Philadelphia and founded in 1986. We have a wide range of clients, and I thought I would share that with you because it really starts to show you that in that range that we've been successful on how to work with an interior designer. So our clients range from a former dancer for Martha Graham and her husband, who's a tax attorney, high-end residential, to prestigious law firms such as Saul Ewing, Zarwin Baum, Woodcock Washburn, Saltz Mangaluzzi, Obermeyer Redmond, to successful real estate developers, Ira Lupert for the Valley Forge Casino and the proposed Market 8 Casino, Ken Goldenberg, restaurateurs such as Emerald Lagasse, institutions of higher learning, the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton, Swarthmore, Rowan. And our most recent work, we're working with an architectural firm out of Princeton, Mill Schnoring, on a very exciting project. It's an Aero Saarinen building at Hill College where we're restoring it to its original grandeur. And 1616 Walnut, which is an Art Deco office converted to apartments, and a branding opportunity of branding the spaces for Keystone Properties out at West Lakes and Rose Tree. So how to work with an interior designer? Well, it's important to understand that there are various types of designers and to know the scope, the scope of their capabilities. I found it interesting in preparing for today, thinking about the word decorator and what does it mean. And the word decorator didn't show up on the scene until the 1950s. And basically a decorator is someone who will work with paper, wallpaper, carpets, furniture, fabrics, decorative lighting, or artwork. Their scope is rather limited in terms of any new construction or millwork. An interior designer is basically an interior architect. They're working first with the floor plan, making sure that the flow of the space works, building it with interior materials, adding fabrics and finishes, and custom millwork. An architect classically is working on the outside or building structures. So the interior designer becomes the advocate for the client. There's a range of consultants that could get involved. It could be a lighting consultant all the way through to signage or an art consultant. The interior designer is the advocate for the client when it comes to the contractor and the builder. They're on site to be sure that things are being built the way they should be, and they interface with the architect. Communications is key. Working with a designer is like engaging a sommelier at a restaurant. The best ones clarify your price range first before selecting the wine. Then they seek to understand your taste. Then deliver a product that you will enjoy. I have found through the years many people have been intimidated by design. I had one client. He was a great bachelor, and I was working with him, creating his interior, and I said to him, do you want to wait? He was dating someone. Do you want to wait until Heidi gets on the scene? And he said, well, you know, Floss, maybe that's a right thing to do. So when I met Heidi, the first time I met her, she was in her Chanel suit, and she looked just fabulous. We went through some design concepts. And by the end of the project, she was wearing her yoga gear. And I felt that as a real compliment in terms of her being comfortable with me. It's important to understand in any project, whether it be a residence, a law firm, a restaurant, a hotel, who makes the decisions. Often clients come that there's 2 or 3 people, and the indecision that happens to be among the client team can actually cost you money in looking at things in various ways and not knowing how to go forward. Other important things are the budget, setting the priorities, as well as understanding the schedule. Another aspect is how does a designer get paid? In all projects, whether it's designing a room or a 20-story building, it's important to have a formal contract. There are fixed fees that are tied to a fixed scope with hourly charges beyond that scope. There's a percentage of the cost of the job. This would start at least at 10%. There's a $1 per square foot charge, and there's an hourly charge. With the budget, it's so important to be realistic and define the boundaries. A lot of people say, oh, if I have $1 million to spend, I don't want to tell the designer, she'll spend $1 million too. Actually, this is really bad. Because when a designer has a budget and they have the scope, they're looking to solve the problem and say, how can I give the client the biggest bang for the buck? Where to spend the money, how to spend the money. So it's important if they know exactly the whole picture. Another way of working is to think about, what do you have to have? If we took a residence and thought of it as a vanilla box, well, you have to have floors, you have to have walls, you have to have doors, frames, and lighting. Okay, that's the vanilla box. Does that cost $500,000? Okay, now you want to spend $1 million? All right, how would we spend the extra dollars? It would be nice to have marble floors. It'd be nice to have a leather wrapped wall. It'd be nice to have wood paneling throughout. So a designer very much can help you understand where to spend. Value engineering comes up in every project. And what part does it play? Can I mix an $800 carpet with a $10,000 chandelier? Of course you can. So I thought I could talk about this for hours. So I thought I would just take a very simple exercise of looking at 3 carpets. They're all blue. They're all the same size. They all have a pattern. The first one is from someplace like West Elm. It's $800. It's a nylon, it's a flat weave. The second one is a restoration hardware carpet. It's wool, machine made. And the third one is a hand knotted wool carpet, probably made in Nepal or Tibet. You can see that the price tags are very different. So it would be important for your designer to tell you what is different about each one, and so then you can make the choice. The best clients come with a dream or a vision. Designers are problem solvers. We love the challenge of realizing the vision. So how to define that vision? You can do it through going through magazines, tabbing the images that you like. No designer would do exactly what's in the magazine. They'll get an essence or a thread, and then they'll know what to create for you. You could do it through site visits, going to see. I've traveled across the United States looking at hotels with various hotel clients. You can travel the world on the internet. I had a client once bring me an art image and say, I love everything about this image. I want my residence to look like this. The latest is Pinterest, and it's a very exciting prospect of how to work with Pinterest, and I'm going to show you that later. Or you could work with photorealistic renderings. So I thought I'd take you on a little tour of a project and show you how a designer starts to build a space. The most important thing is the floor plan. This is a floor plan for Revel. They asked us to do their concierge suite and a presidential suite. They wanted it to be very resort feeling, very spa-like, and so you can see some of the colors in the images that are presented. When you look at the plan, you'll see that there's a layout, there's a bar, there's an entrance. So the communication in design starts with that floor plan. So we took this Hampton look and we made a photorealistic rendering. So you can see that this sort of embodied some of the images that we had in the images before, which were selected from magazines. And here you'll see the end product, which is the lounge part of it, and you see the finished product. So what changed? So you can see we introduced dark wood. The photorealistic rendering helped the vision of the client. He understood he really wanted a different wood species, which we were able to accomplish. This is the presidential suites. A plan also starts to communicate what's a hardwood floor, what's a carpet, what's a lay-in carpet. They wanted for this a very New York, high-end, sophisticated experience, and that's what you're seeing here with the high ceilings and the simple forms. So from these photographs, we created now the photorealistic rendering. This is a very Casa Armani look. And in the next image I'll show you, on the left was the photorealistic rendering, and on the right was the finished space. At no time should design be a surprise to you. It's not a surprise to the designer. The designer sees it in their mind's eye the day that it's created. But often clients might be surprised. So with a photorealistic rendering, you can see the furniture. You can see that it relates from the left and to the right. Here's another photo of that space. We also get very much involved with art, total art programs, and how much art brings to an interior. So this is a total investigation, as you would do with furniture or as you would do with finishes. So we're going to slip here to Pinterest because I want to show you actually 2 boards that were put together on Pinterest. And what you're going to see in the 2 boards are 2 very different styles for a restaurant. first style is going to be a restaurateur who's looking for something that is very urban. So if I show you these images as working on Pinterest, what you see is a very urban experience. It's industrial chic. Here in Philadelphia, it might be Spraga, or it might be the Oyster House. And if you also look at these images, you'll see there's a common thread. There's a use of wood. Is the wood on the table? Is it on the wall? Does it become an accent piece? Does it become a specialty table? Let me scroll down so you can see. So each image has sort of that industrial raw look, integrity in terms of the materials. From these images, we would create something unique for the restaurateur. It would be totally different than this, but this was the generating factor. On the other hand, we could go to something that is very, very sophisticated, something very high-end. This would be a different client. This is not the same client. This is someone who wants something that is very intricate in its lighting and in the ceiling details. If you look at the various materials that are used on the wall or on the ceiling, the forms of the furniture are very clean and modern. So this use of Pinterest is very exciting. Not only can you build a palette or a pin-up board through Pinterest, you can share this. The client can look at it, they can add, they can subtract, and when you have a multi-headed client, this can really speed up the process. So let's go back. To, all right, it's not gonna, okay, so let's go back to how to work with an interior designer. So we got an opportunity from the Sands Hotel and Casino in Bethlehem to present our qualifications to Emeril Lagasse. We had 1 hour. We had a 1 hour meeting, 1 hour actually, to present to him our qualifications and to nail down what type of restaurant he would want to see in Bethlehem. So we came up with the concept of using photographs from magazines of going vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry. So here you'll see the essence of a vanilla restaurant. It's very light, the furniture is light, the walls are light. There's a very essence of something very spring-like. We then showed him chocolate. Okay, if it's not light, then it must be dark. This might be something locally like Del Frisco's. You can see the lighting is very subdued, the images are dark. Then we said, okay, if it's not vanilla chocolate, could it be strawberry? Strawberry was very avant-garde, use of creative forms and creative lighting. So we actually got the assignment, and we designed for Emeril the Sands in the Sands Casino in Bethlehem, the Chop House, a steakhouse. And on the left, you see the photorealistic rendering, and on the right, you see the real job. We were not going to leave it to chance in any way with this very, very important and prestigious client. So we went on with Emeril and designed for him an Italian restaurant. We did Burgers and More, which is a brand new concept for him, BAM in Bethlehem. And from there, we went to Charlotte, and we designed a new restaurant called E. So we were able to realize Emeril's vision and satisfy the Sands Hotel and Casino because we listened, we honored the budget, we were able to communicate what